Uh, typical, typical day waiting for the boys' school bus. Right. Uh, hopefully we'll come in hot. Better make sure that's high enough. Good. Bang. Now we're good. Here we are. Right. Are we live? We are live. Here we go. Yeah, perfect. Oh, being Sarasota. I never raced Sarasota. I was done by then. Was that 2017? Uh Yeah, no, that wasn't me, unfortunately. Um, but I've heard good things about the place. A little bit windy, as I guess a lot of places can be around the world. But that's fine. Right. So, crowd favourite, one of my favourites, I guess. Our countdown. Ha! It's a really good way of uh, obviously um, learning about ourselves and trying to stay aerobic. Okay. I know I harp on a little bit about it in terms of like aerobic stuff and, being able to keep our bodies and I guess, our physiology and stuff in the aerobic space, right? Not producing too much lactic acid and et cetera, et cetera. And this is a really good way of testing that out because of the increase as we go through. Okay, and so when we start to increase the rating, the whole idea is to stay as relaxed and as calm and as focused as we can be and as efficient as we can be while we go through the different ratings. Okay, all the while trying to produce good speed. Okay, catch 22, trying to produce speed, but at the same time, we've got to fucking push, we've got to stay in a nice space. And so obviously we do spend, what are we, 36 minutes or something like that. I think my math's right, whatever. Um, we do stay in a very good space for the majority of it. Okay. It's not till we start getting down, I guess, into this last 10 minutes here where we really do start to get a bit stretched. Okay. Um, and obviously, for anyone that's here that hasn't done it again, done this, or even ourselves, because it is a very individual thing. Where once that rating starts coming up, it is all relative depending on how tired we are, day of the week, have we had a rest day, did I smash something out yesterday, blah blah blah. Where this rating can really get on top of us. Okay, and so that's where we have to manage it. But it's also a really good tool, right? Because I know we all go, oh, I do a 10K or I do a 5K, and I sort of use it as a test to see if I'm getting fitter by just, oh yeah, okay, I'm going to push this. This is also another one that we can use like that, okay? Because it's it's not just flat out. We're building into it, so it teaches us, as I say, about that efficiency, about what we're doing, so we can use that as our benchmark to be like, yeah, look, shit, I felt so much better this time than I did last time. I'm starting to get the grips of that efficiency once we get into this mid to high ratings. And then I didn't blow up like I normally do. Okay. And so that this is a good workout in that sense to be able to do that, because ultimately we should really only be stretching ourselves in that last 10 minutes. Okay, prior to that, all of this we should be in a comfortable heart rate, moving along, not overworking it, shouldn't be overthinking it, just ticking it along and getting to a really really nice place. Okay, so that's us for today. Okay, we will get on just a little bit of warm up. You guys have probably already done a whole bunch of warm up because you're waiting for me. But let's just really focus on that, what I was saying about getting into that nice patient space, nice rhythm, flowing with the machine, tapping it along. Once we get up into here, sort of our, I would say at this 5 minutes at 26 is a really good space to think about moving quickly, work rest ratio, just keeping that flow going, keeping it tapping over so that we can get through to that sort of 28 rating for that 4 minutes. And we can really think about the speed that we're producing, the acceleration of the stroke, right? To get that inertia of the hands, to keep that speed tapping along. And then it really just leaves the last 6 minutes to be like, righto, here we go. I'm going to tap this along, going to do what we can. Okay, but as I said before, if the ratings are a bit high for you, just play it by ear somewhere in here, okay? And if you wanted to, you could go 28, 29, 30, 31, or you could go 28 all the way through, or 30, whatever. Okay, otherwise, let's try and zip it along and see what we can do. Okay. Coffee's a bit hot. That's what happens when you get it straight out of the machine. Mm. Perfect. Righto. Okay. So, loose and limber. Uh, just tap it for a couple of minutes here. Okay. Just really looking for that efficiency, the flex. Okay. And as I mentioned, it is a really good tool to use for that, I guess, standardization or benchmarking of your own um, journey, of your own fitness. Okay. And we'll be really patient and good focus to start so that we can start well, okay, start in a really good frame. And then as we move through those 22, 24, we're just starting to speed it up a little bit more. And then we're getting into some better pace up through that middle rate, okay? But as always, if we focus how we're doing it and getting the body into this nice position, we're hanging, we can use those big muscle groups to really help initiate and start the production and hold so that we don't start using little muscle groups which are going to get tired quicker. Okay. So just another little bit here. Okay. This is mainly for me because I know you guys have already been sitting here doing your own warm up stuff. Okay. But it should be plenty. Okay. So, as I said before, efficiency, consistency, really looking to start here and get onto a speed and a rhythm that we we find the balance in that relationship between the pressure and our output, okay, versus the relaxation and allowing this machine to do the work for us, okay? Because ultimately, once you tip over the edge of the balance point of working too hard and not having enough recovery, okay, we're onto a slippery slope of you are going to run out of gas, okay? And that's what we always need to look at whenever we do anything is to find that. Now, if you do blow up, fucking great, right? Because you find out where you went wrong. And we do that in a lot of the stuff that we do, is pushing it to be like, okay, not quite there, okay? But these are really good examples to be able to say, okay, cool. I'll see how well I go. Rating's good, rating's not good. This is that. Okay, because at the end of the day, it's all a self-evaluation. Okay, it's how we feel when we finish. It's how we feel when we're doing it, because there's nobody else there sitting, watching, or monitoring and that type of thing. It really is up to us. Okay, right, beautiful. Different setup. I'm sure our regulars will know what we're doing. Anyone else? Okay, select workout, new workout, intervals, variable. Okay, so on that first one, we go down to time. Okay, and then press that set time up to 8 minutes. Okay, so you should see 8 minutes flashing. Leave the rest time, the set rest time is 0. Okay, press the checkbox. Now we press time again, and we should just subtract 1 off the time. We go 7. Press that checkbox, time, bring it down to 6. Checkbox, time, bring it down to 5. Checkbox, time, bring it down to 4. Checkbox, time, bring it down to 3. Checkbox, time, bring it down to 2. Checkbox, time, and that last one to 1 minute. Press the checkbox. Okay. Simple as that. It's really good. It's just going to count down each set for us. And obviously, at the end of it, we'll be into the memory. We'll be able to see what we did at each rating. Okay. Get a good idea, good example. Okay. Let's press no more intervals. Okay. Should pop it up onto screen. You should see 8 minutes sitting there. Quick drink, because there's no time. We won't be drinking. Through the piece. She's one whacker. Bang. Start to finish. Okay. Beautiful. Right. Let's rock and roll. Right. Here we go. Okay. 20 right. 2 points up every minute. Every set from there. As you can see. Let's do this together. Okay. Here we go. Right. Are you ready? Bro. Okay. If you didn't get the setup, okay, don't worry about it too much. Obviously, if you're on the live, you're buggered. But if not, if you're watching this again, then yeah, reset it and get it to a good thing. It's just a lot of it, as I talk about, is psychology as well. Because if you set your time to 36 minutes and then in your head, or you've written down where each of the changes are, you're also thinking, shit, I've got 36 minutes to go. Whereas a slight psychological cheat code, okay, is being able to chuck it on like this, and you never see a big number, okay? And in your head, you can break it down, okay? All the little things that we do individually to pass the time, like this one, we get down to 6 minutes, that's 1/4. We're down to 4 minutes, halfway, okay? So really starting here by letting ourselves feel the application, okay, the press, the drive, really holding this posture in a nice form and frame. Okay? Well, we've got time and patience here at the low rate. Think about our connection points, the hands, the feet, the seat. Work on that relationship. Okay. Nice hang. Really good motion of that body through that drive. Okay. As always, we can't just make it go from the front. We have to understand that as we unravel the body, as the flywheel and chain start accelerating and gaining speed, that's how we're getting our speed on screen. Okay. Yes, we need connection. We need that body to be hung off the arms to be picking the flywheel, but through the whole stroke is where we're using the body, the legs, right? That whole torso swinging off those, the pressure that we're producing with the legs. That's where we're finding our speed. Okay. Okay. Lovely and patient, smooth, good rhythm. And once we're onto a nice, steady, continuous motion here, okay, we can see it. Our feedback is the consistency of our numbers, the smoothness of our recovery. How do we feel on this recovery? Okay. Are we feeling jerky and disjointed, or are we allowing the feel, the draw of the chain, okay, the suppleness in our body to feel the stretch, to start aligning ourselves back into position, okay, without it being mechanical. That's lovely. And always, doesn't matter what rating we're at, what pressure, we're just trying to get the flywheel back to the same speed every time. Okay. So the energy we're producing is just to maintain what we're already doing. Okay. We're not looking for every stroke to be harder and harder and harder. That comes when we're doing sprinting, right? When we're looking for maximum. This is about efficiency, patience, consistency. Okay. Okay. Once again, long arms. Feel the hang. Remember, let this body, once we create our inertia and momentum around the finish, we just roll back, let the body compression stop us at the catch, okay? Nice, that's beautiful. Okay, so this is a really good start. Gives us really nice space to work off. And remember, as we go up here, just move everything a little bit quicker, okay? So drive, accelerate slightly. The recovery is a little bit faster, okay? And here we are. Never think about dramaticness, right? Dramatic change. Just small things all round add up to that extra that we're trying to find, okay? I think you've already heard me say, like, everything just needs to speed up 5%, right? So now we should be seeing a different number on screen. Breathe into it. Be patient. Keep nice, smooth rhythm. And ultimately, one of the best skills to have is when we do create this momentum, this extra rating moving quicker, it's just to be able to go, you know what, I can't even really think about what I was doing 2 minutes ago at 20 because your brain is just locked in to what we are now. Okay. And this becomes a new norm. Okay. Both feet. Okay. Feel that symmetry. As we press onto the front. Just compress. Nice and roll. Smooth. Lovely. Don't think about the hands. Think about the pressure and the handle. Okay. And if we keep the arms loose, right? The only thing changing the height of our handle is us pushing our hands down. Okay. But if we're loose, we've got stability. Okay. The chain should want to go quite level, right? Quite on that plane. And we just, any movement we're doing this is potential we're taking away from ourselves. Okay. And we stay loose. Good. Good pressure, good push. Good hang. Okay, always under the armpits. Okay, smooth, good rhythm. You brush that body. Get the hands. Move away. Okay, good. So if you've been watching, making adjustments, you're searching for that continuous motion where we can repeat stroke after stroke, the same movement, maintain speed without huge fluctuations, and just try and be comfortable, controlled. Okay, lovely. Okay, and remember, as we're pressing on this drive, it's still one movement to unravel this compression. We don't have to think about trying to have a, swing in the middle. Just try and think about ourselves unraveling, sitting back, and letting the forces of the body create that movement speed. Okay, here we go. Up two. Now, okay, the elastic. Here we are. Okay, we need to move quicker, but that should be the thought. Okay, thinking, oh, I've got to push harder. Okay, it's a really tightening sort of uh, philosophy, okay, process. Whereas quicker, we're naturally going to have to add a little bit to get the speed, but we're focused on that rating by body speed, leg speed, hand speed. Okay. Remember, once we start getting up into these ratings, one of the thoughts is handle speed in, handle speed out. Okay. If we're pausing too much, we're either trying a little bit too much at the finish, whereas inertia, okay, speed around the turn. We've got the hold and the hang from the drive, and then we release that pressure, and the hang's going to get drawn back by the resistance of the chain and the bungee. Okay. So this is a really good point to check on our relaxation, our breathing. Movement speed. Okay, recovery. One speed as we glide into the front. Okay, use that body momentum there, that core stability to create the body from that 1 o'clock back across towards 11. Okay, getting that hip angle changing as much as possible. Okay, we can do the rest on the way forward. Okay. But this is smooth, relaxed. You can feel the heart rates. You're breathing heavier, but we need to stay efficient. Okay? Good. Compress. Remember, don't have to hit the front. We're just pushing the speed away, increasing through that drive. Go. Feel the hands, the arms on the recovery. Feel the roll into the front, the compress onto the feet. This is where I should turn the fan on. I'm getting sweaty. Hold on. Really good. Careful long. Okay, remembering, picking that speed. Okay, well over halfway. Really focus this 26 for these 5 minutes. Just up that inertia. Feel this ratio. Now, okay, so breathe into it, accelerate. Good. Okay, tap it along here. Relax the face. Stay out of the shoulders. Speed through that drive. Okay, with me. Brush the body. That's it. Tap it along. Roll into the front. Relax knees. Real supple. One speed into the front. Body puts the brakes on. Good. Hey, looseness. Relax. Work and rest. Good. Watch the body. Okay. Don't think about trying to finish it in hard. Feel the draw. Pop the speed of the drive. Okay. Just hold that speed. More focus on trying to finish it smooth with this less tension than trying to give it some. And then trying to push the hands out quick. Momentum and inertia. Okay. Really metronomic. Good. Open the mouth. Finding that ratio. Work, rest. Should still be able to breathe, even on the drive. Otherwise, we're locking ourselves, blocking the ability to stay loose, okay, and hold that speed of the flywheel. Okay, good. Both feet. With the hang. Good. Smooth around. Oh, this is lovely. Finding consistency. Okay, heart rates are getting up. Let's hold the focus on the aerobicness of what we can do. Okay, 28. Now, okay, be elastic. Don't have to reach too far. Get the flywheel moving to our 28 speed. Okay, here it is. Good. Drive body through the middle. With the hang. Good. Okay, breathe with me. Good. Okay, ratio is really 1 to 1 here. drive, relax, recovery. So out of the shoulders. So breathe. You get core at the finish. Feet on the straps. Hold ourselves. Create and help. That inertia. Okay? While the straps are there, helps draw us over. Good. Remember, tap at the feet. Relax the feet. Long arm. Oh, yeah. Okay, open the mouth. Try and release any tensions. Okay? Yes, muscles are getting tired, but don't tighten none. Okay? Take it out. Hands on a plane. Don't choke the handle. Okay, good. Breathe. Okay, next change up. Tap it along. Okay? With me. 30. Now, relax it. Okay, good. Hang armpits. Okay, good. Make your compression. Hang feet. Good. Tap it along. Good. Keep the speed. Back onto the speed. That's all we're doing. Good. Hands to ground. Good. Loose. Tap. Good. Freedom. Good. Tap. Get on top of the speed. Flywheel speed. Relax it. Don't overreach. Good. Tap, tap. Tap. Prepare. Add more speed. Now. 32. Relax it. Breathe. Compress. Hands around the finish. Good. Tap. Up it up. Hit the speed. Maintain. Open the mouth. Relax the face. Brush the body. Stay loose. Good. Freedom. Right, open the mouth. Okay, stay loose. Tap it over. Last minute. Yeah. Good. Freedom. Move the hand. 30 seconds. 10 strokes. All the way. Okay. Keep moving. Hey, big breaths. Hey, that's real solid. Okay. Don't underestimate the effort and intensity we just had there. Okay. Go and gain our composure. Going to take a few. We'll just start by getting some oxygen back to the muscles, a little bit back to the head. Okay. Okay, so while we're in a little bit of the pit, just try and bring yourself back 10 minutes. Okay. How'd you feel coming into that 28? Okay. Did you have a nice change through, like that 4 minute, the 3 minute? And obviously, when we get to that 3 minute, we're like, righto, this is about it. Like I've got to be efficient from this point. Otherwise, you're going to be pretty hard coming into the last part. How was your breathing? How was the tenseness of the body? Okay. Tight or were we loose? Were we able to keep the rhythm, right? Keep the tap, keep on top of it. Okay. All of those things can help us evaluate where we think we could have been slightly better. Okay. I have to say that that I was not quite on the 30 rating. I saw a lot more 29 than I did 30. I'm sort of flicking between the two, which means I probably needed to. I felt like I needed to just speed things up a bit, and I did, but then it would sort of, next minute I'd flash a 29 again. I'm like, okay. So potentially I could have had just a tad more acceleration, or maybe I was focused too much on the raw to then just miss that brush and the inertia. Okay. The rest of it really good for me personally. Great rhythm, sitting on top of it, tapping it along. Okay. Felt like I ticked just about all the boxes. Okay. So big breaths here. Let's just think here for a few minutes. Okay. Let's loosen the legs. Let's try and get right out to length. Okay. Elastic length. So just slide. Okay. Get ourselves forward. Get right into that compressed zone with the seat. Okay. Remember, we don't really have much pressure behind the handle except our body weight. Okay. So really just good focus on that. Okay. Nice, relaxed, smooth. Okay. Really good rhythm and speed. Lovely. And we'll just do another minute here. Time's running over a little bit. Got a few things to get done today. Okay, but while we warm down here and while you're doing your own warm down afterwards, potentially, okay, think about this. Okay, go back, have a look in the memory, see the distance, see the splits you were hitting. Okay, at each one of these, note it down, figure it out. Look at where you felt the best. Okay, might have been at 24, might have been at 26, could have been 28 or 30. But just really get a pinpoint of where you felt efficient, where you felt the most relaxed, the most consistent throughout that period. Okay. Because ultimately, to be able to find that, to be able to identify it is basically your number one skill, okay? Because the moment you can identify it, it's easier to replicate, okay, or maintain, especially when you get back to it, okay? So I think a lack of rest interval did me in. You did, yeah. Well, that's it. You know, like this thing is, you can do this same workout, okay, and you can put minute breaks in here, okay. So, or you could do 30 seconds. But I find once you start getting up in here, that 30 seconds can actually be almost more detrimental than it is positive, right? Because it's just this awkward number and lets the body relax. And then it's fucking back into it. And you fucking got to spike it again and be like, ah. And that's really what can do you in. But obviously, today was about working that efficiency and being able to maintain these. Okay. Sammy, love these countdown sessions. The one the other week in 10-minute intervals with a new dimension to progressive build. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. It's you know, like we can do 10-minute intervals, you know, 4-3-2-1, 4-3-2-1, which I really like. I think they're really good because they give you a good base and then an increase, but it's just got another layer on it, right? And as I mentioned at the start, you know, when we look at what we try and achieve out of a workout or a session, right? This is not only are we trying to work on all our stuff, obviously, but the psychology and the physiology are really important here. Okay, like the psychology to almost leave our physiology alone, right? Because if we just work because we're working, right? We're doing what we need to hit our speeds, to get the ratings, etc. But the psychology of it is, shit, if I get too tense or if I start to pull or if I do this, I'm gonna fucking crash. And that's where the efficiency and that's where us trying to be consistent and think about our form and think about how shit I'm on the 4 minutes. Jesus, we're only halfway through this. I've still got 8 minutes to go. I'm starting to really feel it around the finish, right? Psychology kicks in. Release the hands, let them brush the body, move it a bit quicker. You do that, focus that for a minute, and then all of a sudden you're like, actually, I feel less tired or tense in my arms. And so that's where we get on top of it. It's the cheat code that I talk about because we can get to that point, and then all of a sudden, bang, we're away laughing. Lungs had a wake up. Yep. Oh, I bet you did, Doug. Same. Uh, Ronnie, do you keep your heels pressed to the foot stretch on the recovery until you get to the catch, or do you leave them hovering above the foot stretcher? Honestly, good question, Ronnie. And as I've always said, is that if you're, it should be a natural as you're coming forward, right? And as I said, I think I might have said towards that 3 minute is when we're creating this momentum around the finish, you have to give a little bit of a pull with the toes, right? Because if you feel yourself do this, you can hold the pivot of the hip better, and then of course this starts to bring you forward, right? But as you come into the catch, right, when you're up high rating, your heels only just come off a little bit because obviously, you know, your link's only about here because we don't have time to get right forward. But the biggest thing that I'll say is it's a very independent thing per person on your flexibility because if you've got nice flexibility, you'll probably find your heel stays really flat quite a lot. I'm unflexible as shit. So of course, as I come forward, my heels do come off quite a lot. And that's fine because all that is body, it's biomechanics of your body coming up to the catch, right? And then being in a position to be able to press off what your biomechanics are, right? And the limitations with your body. So don't, one of the things I'll say is don't focus that directly, okay? Pinpoint it as you're riding along, just, you know, be more thinking about this, about your body posture, about just the naturalness of the compression, getting to that point. Okay, yeah, I'm there, that's good, blah, blah, blah. And then Yeah, sweet. And then after 2 or 3 strokes, come forward and go, oh, yeah, it is coming up a little bit. Okay. And then obviously going back down as you drive. So think about that more than like specifics, if that makes sense. Okay. Righto. I've got to go, team. Uh, have a good week. Um, don't do anything I wouldn't do. But otherwise, keep up the good work. Keep training well, doing what you need to. And yeah, as I say, good mixture of all the stuff. Really focus, as I say, focus on this consistency, okay, the smoothness of what you're doing and efficiency. Really understand that the more that we can stay relaxed in a really nice structure and posture, okay, and understand that the whole stroke is creating our momentum, the more we look at that, faster we can go. Okay, perfect. Thanks, team. I'm out. Have a good rest of your weekend. We'll catch you here 7 days' time. Peace out.